What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and everyone in between, and welcome to another new video with a nipple out. What the hell? So, this is kind of a quick one, because this was just something that has been building off of a lot of things that I've been seeing, and I think it really just came to head with recently the Stranger Things character that is, like, unlabeled in a sense. I did kind of want to, talk a little bit about labeling, about labels, the use thereof, and the issue of, not wanting to attach labels or not wanting to be labeled, and why I get it, but I also feel like it is a little bit of a problem to normalize at this point. So let's get into that.
Now where do you think you're going? Thought it was wrong to come over. My daddy won't be home. It's in dark. Now where do you think you're going? Thought it was wrong to come over. When your mama says I'm no good boy. Oh, what have you done to me?
Right off the bat, I'm just going to say, again, like, to get things started, I definitely support the idea that some people don't want to be labeled, that some people don't necessarily want to have a label affixed to them, either because they don't really identify with any one label in a strict sense, or because it's just one of those things where they feel like it is more personal and they don't really want to ascribe something to them in a way that other people can take and interpret and misinterpret. I get that, and I think that's valid, and I do understand that as we get better understandings of sexuality and how sexuality affects multiple aspects of life, that, we reach a point where you kind of don't want to rush into say you're any one thing, because it can always evolve and change a little bit as you get new experiences. But, big but here. Two aspects I want to hit on is celebrities and characters. So in the celebrity sense, I think we have people like Kit Connor is the prime example being talked about right now. But of course, there's also some like Simino on Love Victor. There are a lot of other actors who have, and musicians and performers and such, who do not want to commit to any sort of labeling for themselves or jump around the idea, skirt around the idea, say things without really saying anything. And ultimately, I kind of get why people are annoyed. And on the one hand, yes, it would be wonderful if we could live in a world where, someone's label or someone's sexuality didn't really matter and wasn't really a defining factor for them, or something that really had to, be known by just about anybody. I get that wanting to be like a norm and something that we should push, and, I get it, but. And this is a big but. And I know this is tricky too, because these people are varying ages. Like Kit Connor obviously is like just turning 18, was 17 when the show was filmed, and is obviously young. But while there still is all these tensions going around, while there still is this sort of negative connotation of these sexual labels, of affixing these labels when you're young, of, identifying in front of kids or something as one of these things, I actually do feel like it is incredibly important that we do take the time to label ourselves within the realm of what we can. And I say this because, like, for me, growing up, no one really identified as gay. And if you did, it was usually because you were outed or because you were put in a situation where there was like no other alternative. Like, celebrities coming out was incredibly rare. It usually came attached with some sort of scandal or issue. And growing up, I never really had majorly gay role models outside of certain industries or very niche elements because of things like this. And be able to just have an actor say that they are gay, be able to say that they are bi, be able to say that they are this or that is meaningful. And again, well, I do support the idea that some people want to remain unlabeled, and I do support the idea of being unlabeled. What I will say is that we need to change the phrasing of it. Because saying, I don't really care about labels, or I don't really I'm confident in my sexuality, I don't want to define it. I feel like those kinds of words, like, send a wrong message in the end. Whereas I think the better answer would be, I am still figuring myself out. I do not want to label myself at this time. Like, find a way to make it part of the journey, make it like, say that you're still in the middle of things, rather than taking this stance of sort of like, it's only my thing and I don't have to define it to you, etc. And I say this, like, again, not just because I feel like it would be good to see people label themselves, but also because, again, I feel like another really valid point is that a lot of straight actors end up being in queer roles, and people feel, rightfully, I would say, upset that they don't get to see actual queer performers in queer roles. And again, like, going off on a small tangent here, I feel both ways about this as well. Because on the one hand, like, obviously, yes, I want to see gay role models. I want to see gay actors playing gay characters, knowing the experience, knowing the stress, knowing which parts to play up, which parts to play down according to things that they've experienced in line with so many other gay people as well. But again, with tensions the way they are, with issues the way they are, with acceptance still being in like a teetering place and non-universal, I do think there is something beautiful and special and powerful about a straight person not just wanting to like say that I'm okay with people being gay, but being able to say that I'm okay with portraying a gay person, with doing the best job I can at portraying a gay person, and with pushing the boundaries of how far I can go in portraying a gay person. I do think that's valuable, and I think that like Michael Cimino has been fantastic on Love Victor. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, actually, now that I think about it. But he has been so fantastic in Love Victor, and one of the things I love is that the way he talks about the role, the way he talks about the scripts and the storylines, is that he is passionate about going forward and going beyond to create these roles and these storylines. So I do think that is really beautiful in a way, and I can't ever like hate that entirely, but I also get wanting to see actors actually be gay, and I do think that is valuable and important for a lot of people. On the other side of that comes the characters themselves, and again, like, this Stranger Things is the biggest one right now, because the company ended up, not the company, but the writers and one of the actors and such were saying that, oh, we decided not to define it, not to label it. We think it's more beautiful that way. And, again, there are ways to explore the idea of wanting to be unlabeled, of having a sexuality or sexual expression and such that is wider and more developed and nuanced than saying that you're just gay, bi, straight. There's all kinds of ways to touch on this: demisexuality, asexuality, aromantic, etc. There are ways to broaden these horizons and even approach, I'm not even putting labels on things, there are ways to approach that where you can still make it very clear that this character is queer, that this character is, feeling something that is different. But the purposeful vagueness of it ends up coming across, like, I feel so many people have said, as just not wanting to push the barrier, not wanting to take the risk, not wanting to upset, people in other countries where this is airing that might not be as accepting, not wanting to ruin things for censorship issues. It just feels cheap and wrong. And like, if you want to have an unlabeled, undefined character, I think that is fabulous, and I think there are wonderful ways to do that. But just like leaving things up to audience interpretation or nuance, or stringing it along until like the series finale or the final episodes, and then finally bringing it up at the last minute in a definitive way. These are cop-outs that I think tarnish the experience of that character and their story more than they will ever do to help. With obvious exceptions, because I know someone is going to talk about Legends of Korra, which I haven't watched yet, but I need to. And ultimately, like, short term, I get not wanting to be labeled. I do, really. But I also see that we are in a situation, in a place right now, where I feel like that is a luxury that a lot of us should feel the necessity to forego, in the sense of making this world a better place for the next generation, making it feel safer and more accepting. And, it's one of those things where, not to be rude or pushy or like try to build a firm line, but like it or not, we're in this situation now where not wanting to be labeled is kind of playing into the wrong hands, playing into the wrong support structures out there. So I really do think that we need to like push away from that a little bit. And well, obviously not trying to force people out of the closet or force labels on anyone. We do need to support an atmosphere that is more conducive to labeling, to self-identifying, to saying I am this or I am that or I am this and that with a little bit of this. Being able to expand these ideas, because right now the whole thing is about, okay, you can be whatever you want to be. We just don't want to hear about it. We don't want you to admit it. We don't want you to call it anything. We want it to be shut up, locked away, and silenced forever. So in this atmosphere, like, I think there is nothing more powerful than being able to scream at the top of your lungs, I am fucking gay, I'm a fucking lesbian, I'm fucking bisexual, I'm pansexual, I'm fucking queer. Okay? I am fucking queer, and that is never going to change, and you cannot shut that up and silence it and lock it away again. We need to keep fighting these people, and to honestly, right now, be able to embrace and like empower labeling is, I think, one of the strongest ways and one of the most proactive ways that we could do this. So, yeah. This was me talking about the subject of labels existing in terms of celebrity and, of course, characters in various forms of media. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Of course, remember, life always gets better as long as you work at it brick by brick. Happy Pride.